Hi, I'm Dee Bombani with Clean Skies News, and we're here today with Denise Bode, the CEO of the American Wind Energy Association. Welcome, Denise.
Nice to be here with you, Dee.
Thank you for coming. I want to start with the major announcement recently that the Energy Department is giving $3 billion in grants for renewable energy projects. How much of that would go to the wind industry?
Well, we think a large portion of it will go to wind because wind is being developed right now in the U.S. and we've got tremendous amount of new projects sitting in queues waiting to go online, and the financing that they'll be able to get by utilizing this tax credit grant in lieu of a tax credit will really help kickstart those projects. So we think a lot of that will go to those projects in the short term. So I think the recovery package really, you'll see the kind of activity from wind, because you can put up a wind farm between 60 and 90 days. So you'll really see a lot of activity this year and a lot of jobs created.
Right. Now, what do you say to the people that say, you know, this is just a subsidy for the wind industry. If it really were viable, it would be able to sustain itself. It would be able to grow on its own organically. What do you say about the idea that this is a subsidy?
Well, I think, you know, every energy industry has had incentives provided, like tax credits, whether it be the fossil fuel industry, the coal industry, the nuclear industry. The thing about the billions of dollars in loans and grant programs to kickstart all those industries. And I think it took almost 20 years for the nuclear industry to actually get online, and a tremendous amount of investment by the government to get it there. What we're doing here is putting an industry online that once it gets on, the cost of fuel is zero. It uses no water and is going to really be sustainable for, you know, for years to come. So I think, you know, providing those kind of tax incentives, which are very modest compared to a lot of the other sources of electric generation, are in the national interest. And I think this program, which is really dedicated to the recovery package, which is dedicated to stimulating jobs right away, will stimulate jobs right away now that the program's out.
Do you feel like we are trading, you know, a lot of the wind industry imports its technology, if I'm not mistaken. Are we trading our dependence on foreign oil for our dependence on foreign-made equipment for our renewable energy industry?
You know, that's a really good question, and it's kind of it has been changing from an industry that was really developed in the European community, and in fact 20 to 30% of their generation of electricity is from wind right now and solar, to an industry that is being grown and developed, and manufacturing is being built out in the United States. About 4 or 5 years ago, we had about 25% of the manufacturing in the U.S., and a lot of that had to be imported. Now we're over 50% of the component parts that go into a wind turbine are right here in the U.S. in almost every state in the union. And the importance of that, and that's really why we've been so excited about getting a national renewable electric standard, is the long-term commitment that manufacturers need to spend billions of dollars and build those facilities here in the U.S. And so that's why the manufacturers like General Electric, like Vestas, like Clipper, like others are really saying this is their top priority as companies to get that in place, because they can, you know, for every manufacturing job they create, that's 5 jobs at least that they create here in the U.S. in addition in the supply chain that goes up. Last month we had a conference in Chicago. We had 23,000 people show up, and a lot of them were people that were in the auto industry. They were in, you know, infrastructure, building bridges, and because there's 8,000 parts, they were looking to convert their small business into supplying those parts in the U.S. So there's a huge opportunity for the United States to build a brand new manufacturing base here. And it's just it is this little policy of having, you know, renewable electricity be a national policy that will really kickstart that and add even more jobs. Last year we added 55 new manufacturing facilities and 35,000 new jobs in the U.S. at a time when no other industry was adding jobs. So we know that it works. We know that it adds jobs in areas where people are losing jobs. Like it's not replacing, it's adding new jobs, and it's converting jobs and people's skills over to something that will be there forever.
Right, and to build on that, lastly, how dependent is the wind industry on the development of a smart grid?
And the wind industry is really, really ready to go right now. The smart grid just really helps in communication, so it makes the total grid more reliable. Building out of wind and development of wind is really not related to whether the grid is smart or not. What really is the key factor is having sufficient transmission and having transmission built out, and that's part of why our policy objective is also in the energy bills, and it is as part of the Bingaman bill, and there's also a place saver in the Waxman-Markey bill. It has a provision that allows for national planning, cost allocation, and permitting at the national level to get this super highway built from places that are windy to places who need it. Whether it's a smart grid or not, that just enhances the reliability because it puts communication on it. You can still have a very robust transmission system without that.
I appreciate it. Thank you, Denise.
Thanks nice
for
to meet
being
you.
here.
Good to see you.
Thanks, you too. Thank you. This is Denise Bode, the CEO of the American Wind Energy Association, and I'm Dee Bombani with Clean Skies News. Thank you.